Hi there, name's Sandy. This channel has existed for a long time, surprisingly. About 8 or so years, give or take, and I've been making content for only about 7 of those years. And knowing just how much content is on this channel in such variety, even in my earlier years, it's only natural that some things either almost didn't make production, never really made it to editing, got discontinued, or just seemingly on an indefinite hiatus. And that's what this video is, a retrospective on some things on this channel that I remember I had plans for, but never turned it into a reality, or maybe even almost never existed at all, and is at least a peek into the crazed mind of the cat girl that's running this goofy show, in really no particular order. So sit back, relax, grab something to eat, and go get some water. I can tell you haven't hydrated recently. Do it. Now. And get ready for the several scrapped ideas of the Sandy channel. To start off this topic, we have some of the oldest examples of long-form videos on my channel, the experience videos. Now, of course, this isn't the only experience-type videos that are going to be on this particular list, but I'm starting off with these, as these are pretty much the oldest examples of them on my channel. These collections of comedic clips containing the best of several hours of various Roblox games that I enjoyed is, of course, the primary spark of one of my proudest creations, so I streamed the Calamity mod. But 2 of these videos almost never existed because of either burnout or the game itself turning into a total nigh unplayable mess of blatant greed that Bungie likely took notes on, and those 2 are Adventure Up Experience and the Labyrinth Experience. The former of which almost didn't exist because I just didn't make as much progress in it to the point where I almost gave up on it, and the latter being something I planned at least 2 years before it ever went into production, but due to other games consuming my time, and the at the time lead developer making several idiotic decisions with the game, such as adding in a lot of pay-to-win bullshit, it's kinda no wonder that the game can barely even reach its triple-digit peak nowadays and struggles to even have enough players for any server to perform one of its mainline events. I did decide to check out the Labyrinth just for the sake of this video, being that it's, well, been literal years since I've last touched it, and it seems to be mostly dead in terms of updates. It still has its fucking $10 to $20 goddamn game passes that give you an unfair advantage, and of course, it still has a comedically easy boss in which the only challenge is, of course, just how much fucking patience you have, because it took me, I shit you not, 10 minutes to beat it with the basically damn near endgame shit that I have in my inventory, so that should give you a general idea as to just how ridiculous this game is. There is another Maze Runner game that is made by the former lead developer of the Labyrinth, and it does have a somewhat larger player base, but it's significantly more basic in comparison, with no real custom weapons, no resources, and a very, very annoying escape system that's honestly more annoying than it is actually challenging. On the topic of experience videos, the Fantastic Frontier experience. This is one that I've wanted to redo for literal years now, especially with my better editing and quality, but unfortunately I've been waiting for the update for me to actually bother redoing it. But much like Silksong, the Fantastic Frontier update has been in development for so long that I'm beginning to wonder if they're actually still working on it, and the last devlog was on the 31st of fucking December of last year. Now, will I ever do another video like these, other than the Calamity video? I honestly have no clue. Making the Calamity video was unbelievably fun, and was pretty in line with the experience videos of yesteryear, but with significantly better quality. But such a video took over a month of editing and recording, and to do an experience video on the same level as that one would likely take just as long, and maybe even more, given the fact that, well, I have several other video ideas planned, and such a video would inevitably be of lower quality. But I think I've yapped long enough about these old videos. Let's get into the next one. This next one is by far one of my favorite series on the channel, even with the old mic quality, the Google Translated Metal Gear Rising series. This one was one of my first attempts at what I now consider to be part of my editing style, and of course was also one of my first forays into trying to do some actual voice acting on this channel, considering that, well, I kind of enjoy doing that here and there.
The Elegant Ivy Leagues! Oh wait, fuck, try the university- shit!
Surely you are wounded when you are a man with your shield.
What? Kill yourself, Jack! Phnom Penh taught me liver.
He is between us. Get out of the way, doggy.
I probably shouldn't be in the fucking way. Yeah, I probably should get the fuck out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's how it ends.
Okay. We pray.
It's fucking great!
This little series, where the cast was composed of myself and a handful of friends reading through a severely Google translated version of a Metal Gear Rising boss fight cutscene, is still, in my opinion, one of the funniest things we've ever come up with on a whim, and we plan to do every boss in the game and maybe a few other scenes, and then we didn't. So, what happened? Well, time happened. You see, when we did this series, I was going through a college course in another city, and thus my time was surprisingly plentiful, as was everyone else's. But now I'm actively working and also looking for more work. Sky, the one with an E, is now in university, and Dan is working more on the Shadows of Abaddon mod, which leads us to have very few opportunities to set up, translate, and record another video like that. It is something that I do want to revive at some point, given my love of voice acting in my own and other people's videos, maybe with a few new voices, assuming that they want to be part of something like that, but unfortunately it is one of those series on my channel that will be in perpetual limbo until we have the time and willpower to dust off Google Translate for another round of grammatical slaughter. This being my first iteration of reviews was mainly me going through Minecraft snapshots and showing off to the best of my ability new items and whatnot added to the game with a bit of a comedic twist. Snapshot has finally... Can you not scream at me? Caves are the dripstone caves. They don't really spawn naturally yet, although you can in fact make a unique world type. This mini-series ended primarily due to burnout. Keeping up with the commentary topics back then, while also keeping an eye on snapshots, inevitably led to your girl's brain getting scrambled more than an egg, and in turn, led to the snapshot review stand very quickly. However, I did kinda sorta revive this in the form of the Sandy review series, which I may or may not have another installment ready for coming soon. You just have to wait. Yes, much like everybody's favorite TV-headed furry, I too did a Petscop analysis in 2 parts and plan to continue my analysis of it as I barely even made it into the series. It also ended due to burnout and a lack of motivation to continue the analysis. I've heard that there's a playable version of Petscop, and perhaps by the time I will have made this video I will have played it. No guarantee it will reignite my motivation to continue analyzing Petscop, but you know, one can dream. Behold, another example of an unfinished series, or of course, these two. An attempt to make a better version of experience videos ultimately led to them being left unfinished due to, well, say it with me, a lack of motivation. I may try to continue these series at some point, like with the experience videos I mentioned earlier, but again, these are going to be very low priority if I ever do plan on doing anything like that. Yes, another currently perpetually unfinished series that ended mainly because the mic quality just doesn't work well with the current state of my channel. I'd honestly leave it up to your decision if you guys really want to see me finish that series, but again, I just don't really have the willingness to continue with it. I mean, the streams still exist, you could just watch those if you truly want to. And of course, the few episodes that are up are still pretty funny, I'd say. And now, to finally round off this video's scrapped and suspended series, I end with Cooking with Sandy. There's a few reasons why this series is kind of in limbo as of now. Reason number 1 is, well, lack of ideas. Simple, cheap recipes are becoming difficult to come by, especially with groceries becoming more and more expensive, and while I could just look up some, my main thing with the series is, well, these are mainly ideas of mine that are relatively easy to make. I could continue with some twists on simple recipes, but that leads me to, well, reason number 2. I don't like how I look right now. As a trans woman, come to terms with why I always felt that something was off about my appearance, I don't really feel comfortable showing my face on camera much anymore until I feel even somewhat comfortable with my appearance. Will it happen in time? I don't know, likely. But given it's taken ages for my hair to grow out, my voice still sounds incredibly off to me, it may be a while before I bother to reignite this series again. And with that, that is every single channel idea that is perpetually in limbo, and the reasons why. As expected, even with my short time on this platform, a lot has been left on the cutting room floor to the point where some of them just, you know, were kind of thrown into the freezer to be preserved until I can even be asked to start them up again. Honestly, despite how many things have been left unfinished or undone, I'm still happy with what I did manage to get finished with. So if there's something I want to leave my audience with, it's this. Don't get too distracted with things you haven't finished, and be happy with everything that you have managed to accomplish. You're still standing here after all, and it's something that could be a challenge in and of itself. So, just be glad that you've accomplished enough to make it to here. And as always, thanks for watching.